Say what? Saturdays. So this is just a test run to see how things are going to go. And so what we're going to be discussing today is COVID-19, of course, Hurricane Ida, the fires in California, the Paralympian who lost his gold medal. We're going to talk about 2 deaths. Actually, they're both in Atlanta. There was a young African-American 19-year-old man. Young man, is it JauMarcus McFarland? Gregg Leaks, may they both rest in peace. And also, I'm going to end it with a inspirational Bible verse. Hey y'all, so first we want to talk about COVID-19 and what's going on right now. So the big issue right now is, the biggest concern about COVID-19 is the Delta variant and how it's affecting the reopening of schools and the way they're going to teach and all that type of stuff. So it says testing. This comes from the CDC. It's a data tracker weekly review. It says it's testing, school edition. A recent CDC study showed that the Delta variant can spread rapidly in schools when unvaccinated teachers and staff have close indoor contact with unvaccinated children. While children have been less affected by COVID-19 compared with adults, they can get sick with COVID-19 and can spread it to others. A second CDC study shows that rates of COVID-19 associated hospitalizations in children and adolescents increased following the rise of the Delta variant in the U.S. Prevention strategies include vaccination of school staff and eligible students, universal indoor masking, staying home when sick, and routine testing are critical to schools reopening and operating safely, because many people with COVID-19 don't even have symptoms but can still spread the virus. With regular testing, people can learn their COVID status and use prevention measures before they spread the virus to others. This is especially important for children under 12 who are not yet eligible for vaccination. Finding out who has the virus early means that steps can be taken to prevent COVID-19 from spreading and causing an outbreak, which helps schools stay open. Regular testing also means parents or guardians get notified if their child tests positive, allowing them to plan for treatment and to quarantine or isolate as needed. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Safely returning to in-person instruction this fall is a priority because students benefit from learning in the classroom. Vaccination is the leading public health prevention strategy to end the COVID-19 pandemic, but children under 12 years are not yet eligible for COVID vaccination. To keep school communities safe and to maintain in-person instruction, CDC recommends schools layer multiple prevention strategies. These include universal indoor masking, physical distancing, hand washing, and vaccination for all eligible people. Regular testing, in addition to other important prevention measures, will help keep students in the classroom and will allow them to participate in the other activities they enjoy. And so there is a lot of conflict. There have been school board meetings where they just got out of order because the parents don't want the kids to be masked. But listen at this though. If you don't let your child wear a mask and they go out and get ill, wouldn't you feel responsible? It's, to me, right now, this COVID thing is like protecting your children from Hurricane Ida. Only thing is you can feel or you can see and you can visualize the aftermath of the hurricane. And then COVID, you can't too if you really look at all the people who have died. Look at all the people who are ill. I was just on a conversation with my niece and sister, and they just told niece and daughter, and they just told me of 2 of their peers who passed just this past week to COVID. So if you can, no, I'm not saying if you can, wear your mask. Not if you can. It should be a non-issue. You should wear your mask. And also, if you don't have any underlying conditions that would prevent you, get vaccinated. It's just a patriotic thing to do. Another thing I want to discuss, y'all, is Hurricane Ida. Hurricane Ida is actually the second most damaging hurricane to strike the U.S. and Louisiana on record, following Katrina in 2005, and is tied for the strongest wind landfall in the state by maximum winds with Hurricane Laura, which happened last year. I actually live in Louisiana, and we didn't get anything other than some sprinkles of rain. We didn't get any strong wind or anything. But my heart goes out to all those in all areas that were affected. I've actually worked with some people in Laplace, and that's actually St. John the Baptist Parish, and I haven't been able to contact them yet. So I'm going to still try. Well, actually, I didn't even get around to I want to email just to see how they were. I did see where one of my church and my ex-church members was actually on the national news, and she was saying how a tree had fallen on her car. She didn't have any power, and y'all, Louisiana heat. Just imagine, if wherever you live, if it's 90 degrees there, add probably 20 degrees to that with the humidity. It's Louisiana humidity is terrible. During Hurricane Laura, we did go without power for like 3 days. It was, I mean, at night, you know what I did? I just got a cold towel constantly. We were without power. It was bad, but I did buy a generator, and I didn't even use it. I didn't have to use it, thank God, this time. But my prayers are with all who've lost family members, who've lost the material possessions, the things they worked so hard for. And I do want to share the information from FEMA. So I put the link there, and they said the easiest way to contact them is through email, but I mean on the website. But if you don't have power, it's going to be hard to do that. So I'm sure there are some places set up, because as of 2 days ago, there were 1 million people in Louisiana without power. And Louisiana heat, I'm telling y'all, it's excruciating. I have been through that, and it's no joke, honestly. And also, there was a situation where, but y'all, in fact, let's go back a little bit. There was actually more people died from the remnants of Hurricane Ida than the actual landfall, because there was, I think, the highest number of deaths was in New Jersey and New York. So sad that here in Louisiana, though, I think it was a lady. She was 53 years old, and her 24 and 17-year-old children, it was a boy and a girl, young man and young woman, they all died in the house because of the generator. So make sure that you use your generators properly. Please read the instructions, get some help from somebody if you don't know. And if you really listen to me, and if you really have gotten to know me through the years just by listening to me, I always wondered, Lord, what are you trying to teach us? When it was COVID, I said, Lord, that's the Lord trying to put us closer together. And then I thought about, I had gone to a service, and the preacher said, why can we rest in peace but we can't live in peace? And you know what I think about it's so much racial divide and injustices and social disharmony when it's peaceful. And then guess what happens when there's devastation, destruction, catastrophes? It brings everybody together. So maybe if we try to be more loving and concerned and compassionate during the peace, we won't have to have so much destruction. But anyway, y'all, I just wanted to give y'all that information. I just wanted to briefly touch about Hurricane Ida because it's affected so many. Hey, y'all, and so I just want to briefly mention the California fires. And the Dixie Fire is the second largest wildfire ever reported. It surpassed 850,000 acres this week. The blaze is nearly, 2 months old. It sparked July 13th near my eyes bad, y'all, Cresta Dam and Feather River Canyon, and has flared multiple times amid gusty winds. It is now 55% contained and is burning in parts of Butte, Plumas, Lassen, and Tahoma counties. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to I would be abreast if I just wouldn't mention the devastation that's actually happening in California. So, you think about it, y'all. You think about, we got fire in California on the West Coast. We got flooding all the way up the East Coast. And it just, God is trying to get our attention, but are we really listening? I keep trying to stress that. I keep trying to stress it, y'all. Okay, but I just wanted to mention California. Our prayers are going out to them as well. Also, y'all, worth mentioning, Malaysia's Muhammad Ziyad Zulkifli was 3 minutes late coming to the competition, but the rules are the rules, they say, and the organizers say Malaysian shot putter became ineligible to compete after he arrived late to his event at the Tokyo Paralympics. The problem I have with it is they says he was ineligible to compete, but had they not stripped him, he would have gotten gold. So my problem with that is, if he was ineligible to compete, why did you let him run? So the Ukrainian officials protested because he was late after the fact that he had beat their two who played silver and bronze. So after he was eliminated, they actually made them gold and silver. So my thing is, if you had a problem with him competing, that should have been discussed at the beginning and not after. To me, if you didn't complain before the event, then the complaint was moot, in my opinion. I have nothing to do with the Olympics, but right is right and wrong is wrong. So tell me what y'all think in the comments. What do y'all think should have happened? That's all. I just wanted to give a little brief. I just wanted to touch on that. I thought that was interesting. Hey y'all, so also in my segments, I want to also mention, some people who we've lost. And so this week, for my first segment, I want to first discuss a young man, 19-year-old man, JauMarcus McFarland. He was going to a prep academy in Atlanta, Georgia, and he and some others were on an elevator, and they said that the elevator was over capacity. I'm not sure, but anyway, the story goes that he was getting off the elevator, and the elevator, he was crushed. And my heart goes out to his family, especially that mother. This young man was being productive, a productive part of society, and he was going to school to better his grades so he can go to college, and he wanted to earn him a degree. And just a tragic accident, and took his life. And my heart goes out to the family, to the friends, to the coaches, to those children who were young children who were actually there to witness that. Could you imagine? So my heart goes out to them. And the coach or someone at the academy has started a GoFundMe, and I did include that GoFundMe link there. If God places in your heart to have compassion for that family, please share. I don't normally do the GoFundMe thing, but in an instance like this, a young man away from home, I don't know his situation with his family. I don't know him personally, but my heart goes out to him, to his family. Remember, God loves you, and we love you also. We love you also. So praying for comfort for that family. And also, I would like to mention Gregg Leaks, Nene Leaks' husband. Gregg was one of the most suave guys on that show. I actually, since Nene is gone, I haven't really watched the show, honestly. But I just love Gregg. I love the way he carried himself as a gentleman. I love the way he handles situations. So Nene and the boys and the family, we love you. Our hearts going out to you. Prayers of comfort to you, and you have our condolences. And we lift you all in prayer. Death is never easy, but I can remember and I can give you a word of comfort that a pastor gave me. And he said that prepare your life for that great family reunion in the sky. We love you. God loves you too. Hey y'all, and finally, the end of my segment, I want to discuss a Bible verse. It's a devotional and a podcast that I heard this week, and I said, you know what, I want to share this because somebody needs to hear this. It's from Mark Altraig. But the Bible verse it came from 2 Corinthians 4, 7, and 10. It says, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay, to show that the surpassing power belongs to God and not to us. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifested in our bodies." He says, there is a word in the Bible that I'm so glad is there. I've come back to it again and again over the years. I have said many times, yeah, that's the word for it. That's what I'm feeling right now. What is the word perplexed? Perplexed, but not driven to despair. Paul, the author of most of the New Testament, was perplexed at times. The brilliant theologian Paul didn't know what the heck was going on at times. He didn't understand why certain things were happening to him. There were things in his life that didn't make sense. Outcomes that shouldn't have happened. Friends that shouldn't have betrayed him. Unexpected twists and turns. And he was perplexed. So many things in our... it says, like when he was being a servant, gathering sticks for a fire, and a poisonous viper latched onto him. Ever had that experience? You were just trying to serve and you wind up getting bit. So many things in our lives are perplexing. We try to do the right thing, and sometimes someone gets angry at us. We do all we know to do as parents, and a child rebels. We help someone financially and they go around slandering us. We give someone godly counsel, then they blame us for the problems their sins have caused. Perplexing, confusing, mind-boggling, head-scratching. Why does God allow us to be perplexed? To display his power, to remind us that we are jars of clay and all our strength is from God. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed. When life beats us down and we rise up out of the ashes praising God, it displays his incredible power. Perplexed but not driven to despair. When we go through confusing circumstances that would drive others to despair, yet we continue to hope in God, that displays his might. Persecuted but not forsaken. Others hurt us, yet we find again and again that God is with us. Down but not destroyed. We just keep getting back up again. Why? Why don't we just stay down? Why don't we just give up? Why do we keep coming back to God's word and to church? Why do we lift up our hands in praise when we should just quit? Because of God's power. Always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifested in our bodies. When we die in any way, when we're disappointed, betrayed, confused, perplexed, hurt, persecuted, disrespected, abused, it's then that the life of Jesus shines most brightly through us. All our afflictions are intended to reveal the power and glory of God in our lives. Are you perplexed? Are you down? Get back up. Keep going. Keep seeking Jesus for strength. Keep asking him for answers. Don't despair. Jesus is about to display his glorious power through you. Isn't it a wonderful, wonderful word? Y'all have a blessed day. This is our first Say What Saturday. See you next week.